baseman, number 2, Gavin Jones. Batting third, the catcher, number 15, Cade Kalei-Wavehi. Batting fourth, the right fielder, number 18, Brody Melton. Batting fifth, the center fielder, number 17, Nick Iezzi. Batting sixth, the designated hitter, number 7, Landon Lutterman. Batting seventh, the second baseman, number 10, Devin Gutierrez. Batting eighth, the first baseman, number 34, Josh Lale. Batting ninth, the left fielder, number 44, Cole Hartley. And on the mound for the Buffaloes, number 21, Canyon Green. And now the starting lineup for your Reinhardt Eagles. Batting first, the designated hitter, number 15, Juan Pablo Morales. Batting second, the left fielder, number 32, Cannon Dorsey. Batting third, the center fielder, number 16, Jackson Rains. Batting fourth, the second baseman, number 6, Luis Dion. Batting fifth, the third baseman, number 11, Cade Shamley. Batting sixth, the catcher, number 7, Ryan Stevens. Batting seventh, the first baseman, number 28, Sam Holthouse. Batting eighth, the right fielder, number 8, Brock Sisson. Batting ninth, the shortstop, number 24, Miguel Salazar. And on the mound for the Eagles, number 19, Carter Crumley.
Weezy out. Weezy out. Jump out of the way, right into it, days. It can wreck your life. You gotta think twice. Put it together, the color I like. Know it look better whenever enticed. Proud of whoever, whatever advice. I'm out too tired to see.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Game 3 of this AAC series between the Milligan Buffaloes and the hometown Reinhardt Eagles. Reinhardt absolutely dominant in Game 1 of this series, blanking Milligan 7-0. The Bats came alive for the Buffs in Game 2 of the series. Milligan posting an 18 spot to run away with the win in 7 innings. So we're going to see what happens in the rubber match of this one. Milligan trying to do something that they have not done since 2021, and that is take a series off of the Reinhardt Eagles. Meanwhile, Reinhardt trying to continue their dominance over the Buffs. The man on the mound for Reinhardt, number 19, Carter Crumley. Crumley, the 6'4" freshman from Villa Rica, formerly of South Paulding High School. And the righty is going to get the opportunity to go up against one of the better lineups in the entire country. Milligan returning a ton of talent from a group last season that came within a few spots of making a return to the NAIA postseason. Of course, Milligan last made it in 2024, where they fell just one game short of a World Series appearance. One of the main leaders of those teams back for another one is Braxton Baird. Baird had 3 homers in the second game of this series, Game 1 of our doubleheader. And it's Baird leading things off for the Buffs once more. Count now standing at 1-1. Baird, the senior from Murfreesboro, Tennessee. Swing and a miss by Braxton Baird, and strike number 2. And then a series with 2 teams over these past few years that's been typified by back and forth play, close contests. Both teams dominant in their respective wins. Reinhardt 7-0, Milligan 18-4. And pitch a bit outside for ball number 2. The Bats were alive and well for the Buffs in that second game. They got rolling early. They had 4 runs in the first inning. and really never seemed to cool off. Reinhardt, they were really playing from behind for the entirety of that one. That pitch off the tip of the bat and fouled off. And for Milligan, the way that their bats have performed this year, batting over 320 as a team, they have to feel very strongly again about their chances to challenge atop the AAC, trying to come away with a statement win against a group that they have not had a ton of success against over these past 3 seasons. Again, just 5-9 over the past 3 years against Reinhardt. Some classic contests mixed in between there, a few coming in Kingsport, Tennessee during the Appalachian Athletic Conference tournament. Milligan trying to come away with the series victory here in Waleska. The payoff popped up into the air, and it's going to go foul. This is the second consecutive start coming for a freshman, Chris Oates. The freshman righty got the start in the first game of our doubleheader. So a youth movement out there on the mound for Reinhardt. Crumbly's payoff popped up again and fouled off. Eagles lost a ton of production from last year, 6 all-conference performers. Some veteran arms within that pitching staff as well. This group really rounding in the form in March, 5-2 since the turn of the calendar. This one, a grounder. Dion retrieves it, delivers it in time to Holthouse for out number 1. So Braxton Baird got things going with the leadoff single in game 1 of our doubleheader. This time, Eagles able to retire Baird for out number 1. Now coming up to the plate for Milligan, Gavin Jones. He's had one of the hotter bats, not just in the AAC, but in the entire country. Coming into this weekend, Gavin Jones, second in the conference in batting average, as he watches that one for ball number 1. Jones had a solo home run, count that a 2-run home run in the first inning of game 2 of this series. Reinhardt rode a strong pitching performance from Logan Lynch in game 1 of this series en route to a shutout victory. Hoping for similar success in this one. Jones watches that one, goes for ball 2. Recently, the offense for the Buffs has been pretty up and down, a game up, a game down. They're hoping to find some sort of consistency here in the rubber match of this series. The 2-1. That pitch called for ball 3. Milligan 20-6 on the year, receiving votes in the top 25. Coming off of a 2-game matchup against Cumberlands, they were able to take one off of the 6th-ranked team in the country. Swing and a miss from Jones and strike 2. Series win against Reinhardt will go a long way towards showing many across the country that this group will be a force to be reckoned with as this season continues to roll on. The payoff pitch tipped up and fouled off. Underscoring the dominance from Milligan's lineup in that last game, 8 of their 9 starters within their lineup recorded hits. We'll do a payoff once more. 3-2. It's high for ball number 4. So Jones is going to make his way to first, and Cade Kelawahe will make his way up to the plate. Kelawahe came into this series one of the conference leaders in ribbies with 29. Kelawahe was quiet in that first game, 0 for 3, able to get himself going in the second at 1 for 4. That pitch a bit high and outside for ball number 1. But something to be said about Milligan being able to have as stellar of an offensive showing as they did without one of their better bats in Kelawahe really producing much. Kelawahe had a late RBI, but not really the type of performance that we've been used to seeing from him over the course of his career. And it didn't matter much for Milligan. They got a ton of production elsewhere, showing you just how dangerous this lineup can be when they are firing on all cylinders. And they most certainly were close to that in game 1. That pitch, a strike. So as important as this would be for Milligan, it would also be important for Reinhardt, who struggled in February, a few difficult series against top 10 opponents, trying to get their second consecutive series victory. That pitch, a strike. Count now 1-2. Eagles 10-15 right now, but a ton of baseball left to be played this year. They're going to have a lot of opportunities to establish themselves and get themselves right back in the mix in the AAC. Again, this would go a long way towards putting themselves right back near the top. Coming into this series, 7th in the conference. Meanwhile, Milligan 4th. Kelawahe is going to foul this one off. That's going to negate Jones, who tried to make his way from first to second. So he will head back to the bag. So far in the AAC, Johnson atop the standings. Johnson 9-1 in conference play, 21-3 overall. Johnson made it to the NAIA postseason last year, and they, so far at this point, seem to be even better this season. Tennessee Wesleyan also in the mix at 9-2. Montreat out of North Carolina, 9-3. And Milligan right up there near the top of the AAC standings at 10-4. A few spots down. Reinhardt currently 5-6. Dropped that series against Johnson. Still have some series against teams ahead of them coming up. As Jones is going to go. Jones trying to steal second, and he gets there. So Jones making his way from first to second. He is now in scoring position and a full count at the plate. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Gavin Jones has been stellar at the plate. He's also been an effective base runner all year for Milligan, showing himself to be one of the best in this conference. Payoff coming up for Crumbly. Strike 3. He's going to ring him up for out number 2. His first strikeout of the ball game. 2 men gone with the outfielder Brody Melton coming up to the plate.
Now batting the right fielder, number 18, Brody Melton.
Melton coming into this series, 365 with 26 RBIs on the year, top 10 in the conference in RBIs. Had a few hits in game 1 of this doubleheader as well, trying to spark a 2-out rally for Milligan. So far, this game has already started off differently for the Reinhardt Eagles. Milligan had 3 runs posted before their first out was even recorded in the first inning of game 1 of our doubleheader. Right now, 2 outs on the board. There is a runner in scoring position. Gavin Jones at second, very threatening from there. Count now 2-0. They're doing battle facing off against an Eagle offense that at their best can be very dominant in their own right. It's been sort of up and down for them this season. They're hoping the arrow is pointing up here in the rubber match of this series. Counts 2-0. Crumbly deals. Low in the dirt. Ball 3. Milligan in the 7 innings of that game, that first game of our doubleheader, they scored at least 1 run in 6 out of those 7 innings. Multiple runs in 4 out of 7 innings. So a phenomenal offensive showing for the Buffs in that one. And a walk here. That's going to allow Melton to get himself on board. Now 2 men on for Milligan. Melton at first, Jones at second. And we're going to have a mound visit. We're going to have a conversation. The backstop, Ryan Stevens, is going to talk to Carter Crumbly as they try to secure out number 3. Set to resume play here after that mound conference. Trying to get Carter Crumbly locked in to record out number 3. Milligan, an offensive showcase in the second game of this series right now. A much slower start here in inning 1. Nick Easy, the outfielder, at the plate. Easy recorded a hit in that game against Reinhardt, the second game of this series. Another veteran bat within this talented Buffalo lineup. Watches that one for ball number 2. This one hit right towards Dion. He can't corral it. 1 run is going to score for Milligan. Hold on, they're going to say out number 3, so no runs scored. Reinhardt catching a bit of a break there. We're going to move on to the bottom of the first inning and still scoreless. So clarification on that last play. 1 run scoring for Milligan, a throw out over at third. So Milligan taking the 1-0 lead over Reinhardt going into the bottom of the first inning. Man on the mound for the Milligan Buffs, number 21, Canyon Jaron. Jaron, the native of Knoxville, Tennessee, a senior, having his best season of his career so far. He's 4-0 on the year. What will be his 7th start of the campaign? A 1.06 ERA to boot at this point of the season. His ERA has lowered every year that he's been on campus for Milligan. And right now, he looks to be one of the better pitchers in the AAC. A veteran arm being tasked with securing the rubber match Game 3 for the Buffs and securing also the first series victory over Reinhardt since 2021. Coming to the plate for the Eagles, number 15, Juan Pablo Morales. Morales, the backstop, has had a strong season so far for Reinhardt. He's hoping to see that continue here. He's been the team's leader in batting average for most of this season. Had a pair of hits in Game 1 of this doubleheader. Right now sporting a .313 average. Swings and misses there. Strike 2. Eagles didn't get a ton of offensive production in that first game against Milligan. Juan Pablo Morales really got going. It's fair to wonder, you talk about two teams in Reinhardt and Milligan have a ton of history. At some point, you would think that maybe that creeps into your mind if you're a player trying to get over more of a mental hurdle than anything, trying to do something that your program really hasn't done and trying to overcome a team that you've been accustomed to losing to over the years. You maybe felt some of that from Milligan in Game 1 of this series, losing it 7-0. Reinhardt, a dominant performance. The Buffs team that we saw in Game 2 more closely resembling the group that we've seen from them this year. Jaron's pitch in the dirt for ball number 2. But Milligan, they are no stranger to giving Reinhardt challenges. Right now trying to get over the hill in this one. And Jaron striking Juan Pablo Morales, so he's going to get a free pass to first. That's going to bring up Cannon Dorsey. Dorsey is Reinhardt's leader in batting average, averaging .345 entering today. He was able to get something going for Reinhardt in that first game of the doubleheader. Eaglebacks late arriving in that game. They finished with 6 hits. Not stringing anything together in terms of many RBIs or really making any consequential plays at the plate. Unfortunate for them, especially with the way that their offense got going in Game 1 of this series. So they're hoping for something closer to that here in Game 3. Jaron, pitch inside. Dorsey, the left fielder, has seen his role increase dramatically from last season. He's been tasked with leading this group, and he's been a very consistent member of the lineup to this point. Reinhardt currently batting .283 as a team this year. So still plenty of juice within this Reinhardt lineup in spite of the talent that they've lost over these past few seasons. Cannon Dorsey, the South Carolina native. That pitch high off the plate, ball number 3. Jaron, not just an experienced player on the mound, but a ton of experience going up against Reinhardt. Seen them on a few separate occasions in Kingsport during the AAC tournament over these past 2 seasons. Swing and a miss from Cannon Dorsey in strike 2. So a lot of familiarity between both sides here today. Full count, 3 balls and 2 strikes. A ball sends Dorsey to first. A strike sends him to the dugout. Payoff from Jaron. Pick attempt first. It will be unsuccessful. Bats late arriving for Reinhardt in game 1. Jaron, the payoff. Clipped by Dorsey, staying alive. So Logan Lynch, the star of the show on the hill for Reinhardt in game 1. It was Jack McLaury leading the way for the Buffs in game 2. Jack McLaury going 6 innings, surrendering only 3 earned runs. The 3-2. Again, Dorsey staying alive. But McLaury did a nice job of slowing down what was a Reinhardt lineup that built a ton of confidence after that first game from yesterday. Did not seem like the same group in the first game today. Much of that due to the play of Jack McLaury. Dorsey hitting that one maybe off of his foot. He'll take the brunt end of that one, but again, staying alive. He's fought off and he's fought well here in this AB. He's going to make Jaron really earn this out. Still nobody gone. Still a full count. 3 balls and 2 strikes. We still have Juan Pablo Morales over at first. Swing and a miss from Dorsey. Strike number 3. Morales is out at second. A double whammy for the Reinhardt Eagles. 2 men down.
The center fielder, number 16, Jackson Rain.
What a play by Cade Kelowahe, the veteran backstop. Throwing out Juan Pablo Morales at second. So Dorsey swings and misses. Juan Pablo Morales thrown out over at 2. And that's going to bring up Jackson Rains. Rains got things going for Reinhardt in the first game of this doubleheader. His solo shot, the first run scored for the Eagles. Rains did it in a very similar situation as well. 2 outs on the board. Jackson Rains, the senior from Mound, Texas. Rains, a chopper, the throw in time for out number 3 to retire the side. So a lot less fireworks here after 1. Milligan holding a 1-run advantage.
Leading off for the Buffaloes, the designated hitter, number 7.
Set to resume play here in Ken White Field. Reinhardt trailing Milligan 1-0 entering the second inning. This is the grudge match, the rubber match, the third game of this series. Reinhardt taking game 1, Milligan taking game 2. Carter Crumbly, strong for the most part in that first inning, surrendered that one run that came towards the end. It's given Milligan their advantage so far. Landon Lutterman in the game now for the Buffs. Lutterman, the designated hitter, had a home run in the first game of this doubleheader. Lifts this one deep into the air. It's going back, and it will be retrieved by the left fielder. That's Cannon Dorsey coming underneath that one and getting Lutterman out.
Now batting the second baseman, number 10, Devin Gutierrez.
Carter Crumbly, so far so good. He's comported himself very well against very talented Milligan lineup, almost one time through the order. Devin Gutierrez, the second baseman, now at the plate for the Buffs. Gutierrez, 1 for 4 in the first game of the doubleheader. Carter Crumbly, his first start of the year, his 4th appearance. Currently with a 2-0 record and a 2.35 ERA. Milligan, such a talented lineup. Tough task for any pitcher to go up against 6 batters batting above 300 this year. That pitch outside for ball number 3. Gutierrez ahead on the count, well ahead on the count with Josh Lale, the first baseman, on deck. That pitch goes for strike number 1. Gutierrez thought that he was going to get that free pass. Instead, enters back into the batter's box. Count stands at 3-1. Crumbly. Foul tipped by Gutierrez. Full count, 3 balls, 2 strikes. Didn't see a ton of these deep counts in the first game of this series. You can tell there seems to be a point of emphasis on trying to make these pitchers work a little bit harder here in the early stages of the game. Crumbly. It's going to be called ball number 4. And that was a close call there, but Gutierrez gets the better of it. He's going to win this battle. He makes his way to first. Josh Lale coming up to the plate for the first time today.
Now batting the first baseman, number 34.
We didn't see Josh Lale in game 1 of our doubleheader. Lale so far this year batting 179. This will be his 40th plate appearance of the year. So Josh Lale getting the start in this one at first. He watches that one sail high for ball 1. A much quieter Buffalo lineup here in the early going. That pitch inside, ball number 2. Checking in around the AAC, Montreat currently trailing Georgia Gwinnett by a score of 1-0. That game in the bottom of the second inning. That pitch high for ball 3. Johnson and Bryan in a similar situation to this one. Johnson dropping that first game of the series against Bryan by a score of 17-4. They came back and won game 1 of their doubleheader. They're ahead 1-0 in the top of the first in that one. Tennessee Wesleyan ahead against U-Pike 1-0 in the top of the third. So some great contests happening around the Appalachian. Another pitch inside. It's going to go for ball 4. 2 consecutive walks from Carter Crumbly. 2 men on for Milligan. 1 runner in scoring position. Cole Hartley now coming up to the plate for the Buffs. And we're going to have another mound conference. Ryan Stevens going to have another conversation with his pitcher. Cole Hartley coming up to the plate. We saw Hartley as a pinch runner on a few separate occasions. This will be his 33rd plate appearance of the year. Currently batting .250. And with the talent that Milligan has at their disposal in that lineup, you cannot give them too many free passes. They generally make do when given those type of chances. They have a runner in scoring position, still just 1 man down here in the top of the second inning. That pitch, a strike. Nine-hole guy in Cole Hartley. Swing and a miss there, strike 2. Crumbly, we're here in the top of the second inning. He's already clocked at 40 pitches thrown. So Milligan making him really work deep into these counts. They're hoping to try to add some miles to Crumbly's arm as this game continues. That pitch going high for ball 1. They really want to wear Crumbly down as this game goes on and hope another time through the order they can start to take advantage. But it's been quiet so far for Milligan with their 9-hole guy in Hartley at the plate. Counts 1-2. Crumbly dealing. A grounder. Salazar has it, tries to make the throw. It will not be made in time. Cole Hartley makes his way to first. Runners at the corners for Milligan. Salazar tried to make that throw from his backside, just couldn't get it over to Holthouse in time. And now we're going to have another mound conference. This will feature the entire infield. Gutierrez is at third. Hartley at first. Milligan threatening to add to their lead. So we're going to have a change on the mound for Reinhardt. Carter Crumley's day is done. And now passing the ball to Miles Morris. Morris, the redshirt freshman, the 6'2" righty from White Bear Lake, Minnesota. Miles Morris is going to get the call. One man gone for Milligan. They have runners at the corners. Extremely dangerous time for Reinhardt. And Morris is going to be tasked with keeping Milligan off the board. They already hold an early 1-0 advantage with a chance to do even more damage. We're making our way back to the top of the batting order for Milligan after Hartley was able to get on board by way of that single. Braxton Baird 0 for 1 so far today, but he's already made his presence felt here at Ken White Field. He had 3 home runs in the first game of this doubleheader. So Braxton Baird, the lefty, going to get a chance to do work against the newly entered Miles Morris. And everything needs to be on the table. This game seems to be a little bit less in way of fireworks, and we may see some gamesmanship happen. Braxton Baird potentially laying down a bunt, getting one over towards the first baseline. Everything in play. Milligan just trying to get that runner on as we see this one hit right to Holthouse. He's going to step on the bag, but 1 run will score. So that's exactly what Milligan does. Great move there from Braxton Baird to bring that runner home. 2 outs on the board, but 2-0, Milligan ahead.
Now batting the third baseman, number 2, Gavin Jones.
You figure with the way that this game has gone compared to the last one, a little bit slower, more of a grinder, you figured that trying to get those type of runs, you would see some gamesmanship happen in that way. Braxton Baird hitting that one towards the right side, right to the first baseman, Sam Holthouse. He was able to step on the bag at 1, but not able to deliver anything close to home plate. So Baird getting the RBI despite falling to 0 for 2. Gavin Jones back at the plate. He was walked in his first plate appearance, now facing a 1-1 count. Still 1 runner on in scoring position for Milligan. Cole Hartley, the outfielder. Popped up into the air by Jones, going back, and it is gone. Gavin Jones, a 2-run shot. Milligan's stellar day continues. Gavin Jones, his 2nd home run of the day, his first in this contest. Buffalo's out in front 4-0.
Now batting the catcher, number 15, Caleb Twavey.
So make that 5-0 rather. Milligan out in front. Gavin Jones, his 2nd home run of the day. Cade Kelowahe back at the plate. That pitch low for a strike. So again, it seemed like the way that the game was going, it was going to be more of a grinder, a pitcher's duel, which team can sort of muscle some runs together with Braxton Baird, as this one is sliced by Kelowahe, drops into the corner of right field. Kelowahe rounding first, headed to second. Kelowahe continuing the forward momentum for the Buffs. That double getting himself into scoring position. But it seemed like with the Way the game was going in the early stages, it would be a grinder. Didn't really feel like we had fireworks on our way, but Gavin Jones changing that one in an instant. A 3-run shot. Milligan, a 4 spot so far here in the top of the second inning. Brody Melton coming up to the plate for the Buffs. That pitch low for ball 1. Brody Melton had 2 hits in the first game of this doubleheader. Another one of those strong bats within this Buffalo lineup, batting .365. That pitch, a strike thrown from Morris. Morris coming in relief, trying to stop some of the bleeding here. Milligan, they've taken advantage of the situation. That one well hit. It is going to leak into left field. Another run will score for Milligan. An RBI single from Brody Melton. The Buffs are now starting to heat back up at 6-0.
Now batting the center fielder, number 17, Nick Iezzi.
Nick Easy, the center fielder, coming back up to the plate. 1 for 1 so far in this one. Milligan was quiet in the first inning. That has not been the case in the second. They have gotten going quick, fast, and in a hurry. 5 runs here in the second. Right now in the midst of a major 2-out rally. Morris desperately in need of that coveted 3rd out, trying to stop the bleeding. That one a grounder, a hopper. Dion delivers it to Salazar for out number 3. That's going to retire the side, but not before Milligan puts their stamp on inning number 2. They're out in front, 6-0.
Leading off for the Eagles, the second baseman, number 6, Luis Dion.
Getting set to resume play here in the bottom of the second inning. Luis Dion coming back up to the plate for Reinhardt. Dion's first plate appearance of this game. Dion, 9 home runs so far on the year. He's top 5 in the conference in that category. Another strong season for Luis Dion, a returning first-team All-AAC performer. Right now, he looks even better than he did in his freshman campaign. Swings and misses there for strike number 2. Speaking of even better, again, Canyon Jaron has gotten better each and every season that he's been on campus at Milligan, and this year his best season yet. And that'll be a theme when you look at this roster for the Buffs. A lot of veteran talent, a lot of guys who were a part of that group that made it to the NAIA postseason in 2024, came within one game of the World Series. So they feel that they have a chance to make even more noise as Jaron is going to ring up Dion. Strike three, out number one.
Cade Shamley.
In the early part of the year, everyone's saying, yeah, this is our year, this is our year. Well, Milligan, they feel like they have the evidence to back up that claim, and they believe that they're going to be playing their best ball as this season rounds into form. Cade Shamley, the third baseman, at the plate for Reinhardt. Shamley, the senior infielder, he's having a strong year, batting .301. That pitch, a strike from Shamley. Counts now 3-1. One man gone, nobody on for Reinhardt. Eagles trailing by 6 early. Jaron deals. And a strike brings up a full count here. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Milligan's bats got going early in the first game of our doubleheader, and they are doing the same here in game 2. Reinhardt backs against the wall. It's a chopper delivered right near the Reinhardt dugout. But Reinhardt fell behind early and could not recover. Eagles dominant in game 1 of this series. Right now, this one resembling more of game 2 than game 1. Hit right towards the first baseman, Lale. Does he make it to the bag? No, he does not. Shamley wins the foot race.
Now batting the catcher,
Josh Lale decided to try to leg it out. Jaron was not going to make it to the bag in time, but Josh Lale was not able to win that foot race against Cade Shamley. Shamley getting himself on with the backstop. Ryan Stevens coming up to the plate. Ryan Stevens, the grad student, 6'2" out of Marietta, Georgia. Stevens a part of that platoon there in the catcher spot. 2 veteran players in him and Juan Pablo Morales, who gets to start at the designated hitter position in this contest. Stevens swings and misses for strike 1. Getting a man on board, maybe that's what Reinhardt needs as they try to get things going here offensively. Stevens popping one up into the air in the center field. It's going to be corralled by Easy for out number 2.
Now batting the first baseman, number 28, Sam Holthouse.
Sam Holthouse, the first baseman, had a pair of hits in the first game of this doubleheader. He got going for Reinhardt. Eagles hoping that they can see more of that from Holthouse. Holthouse, the senior first baseman from St. Joseph, Minnesota. That pitch a bit high and off the plate. Shamley says, well, thank you very much. Free pass over to second. He's now in scoring position. So Shamley threatening from second. Holthouse trying to bring him home with a base hit. Swing and miss. Strike one. Kenyon Jaren already 2 Ks on the board. Swing and miss once more from Holthouse. Strike two. Jaren's been so dominant this season. Right now, looking like more of the same here in game 3 of this series. Holthouse hits one, it goes near that Milligan dugout. The Buffs saving arguably their most consistent arm for the last game of this one. They were able to keep Reinhardt at bay by winning the second game of this series, and now riding high in this one with a 6-0 advantage. Count 1 and 2. Jaren, high, ball 2. The 2-2 pitch outside and off the plate for ball 3, a full count here. 3 balls, 2 strikes, a ball, and we will play on. A strike retires the side. Sam Holthouse has 2 hits already today. Can he make something happen at the plate once more? The payoff. Popped up into the air in the right center field, and it will be caught by Easy for out number 3. That retires the side. Reinhardt remains scoreless. And after 2, it's Milligan out in front. 6-0.
Leading off for the Buffaloes, the designated hitter, number 7.
Getting set to get things back going in the 3rd inning. Milligan ahead 6-0 over the Reinhardt Eagles. Designated hitter Landon Lutterman back at the plate. Lutterman 0 for 1 so far in this one. Milligan, they started slow in the 1st inning. Got things rolling in a major way in the 2nd. That pitch low and off the plate. Miles Morris still in the game on the mound for Reinhardt. They try to slow down what has been such a dominant lineup, not just in this series, but over the course of this season. So that pitch actually striking Lutterman. He gets a free pass to 1. So Lutterman's at 1. Devin Gutierrez back at the plate. Gutierrez got a free pass in his first plate appearance. Milligan, they absolutely have the talent to make a real run towards something going forward, whether that's an AAC title, potentially an NAIA playoff appearance. A group that has the talent to be able to make a major run. This would be a huge statement on the road in Waleska, going up against the team in Reinhardt, the back-to-back defending AAC regular season champs.
Oh, I got it. I was doing something.
A grounder. Salazar gets it. It falls out of his hands. Lutterman rounding third. He's safe at 3. Gutierrez safe at 1. Runners at the corners for Milligan. It initially appeared like Miguel Salazar was going to be able to come underneath that one. Instead, the ball leaks in the left center field. 2 runners on for the Buffs.
The first baseman, number 34, Josh Lale.
Gutierrez able to get on board by way of that error. Runners at the corners for the Buffaloes. Josh Lale, the first baseman, back at the plate. And it's just been that kind of game, that kind of day for Reinhardt. Unforced mistakes have helped Milligan along the way. Milligan, they've done a nice job throughout this game. They haven't needed a ton of help. But Reinhardt, they haven't been able to help themselves. They've given Milligan every opportunity to take control here in this series. That pitch, ball number 2. There's an old saying when you talk about competitive sports, and especially pertinent here today, is that great teams generally don't need help. They're going to be great in their own right. The last thing that you want to do is help them along the way. Unfortunately for the Eagles, that is what they have done on multiple occasions during these games. As Milligan has battled, Milligan's done a nice job. Their offense has come alive really here on this Saturday afternoon. But those mistakes along the way have pushed it to another level. Milligan ahead 6-0 already, and a chance to do even more damage. Nobody gone. No outs here in the 3rd inning. This one very well hit. It drops in the left center field. 1 run scoring for the Buffs. It's Landon Lutterman. RBI double from Josh Lale. 7-0 Buffaloes.
Now batting the left fielder, number
Josh Lale, his 8th hit of the season. So Lale's 1 for 1. Cole Hartley coming up to the plate now. Hartley has a hit in this one as well. The 9-hole hitter got a hit in that previous inning, was a part of that major 2-out rally that busted this game wide open for the Buffaloes. Two runners in scoring position for Milligan. 2 consecutive strikes thrown by Miles Morris. This game has absolutely gotten out of hand for Reinhardt. Morris needs to try to stop the bleeding. He cannot surrender anything else here. Eagles want to keep the Buffs in arm's distance. This one a blooper. Will it drop? Yes, it will. Drops in between 3 Reinhardt Eagles. 1 run scores for Milligan. It's 8-0 Buffaloes. After the way Reinhardt dominated the Buffaloes in game 1 of this series, it seemed like it was going to be business as usual between these 2 teams. Milligan, they have not defeated Reinhardt in a series since 2021. The Buffs have absolutely turned the tables on Reinhardt here in games 2 and 3 of this series. During this doubleheader, they have been dominant. Right now, outscoring the Eagles between the 2 games by a score of 26-4. And we're back to the top of the batting order with Braxton Baird at the plate. Milligan a chance to do even more damage. Already 8-0. Runners at the corners, nobody out. Braxton Baird, who had 3 homers in game 1 of our doubleheader, back at the plate. 0 for 2 so far in this one. That pitch goes high for ball 2. Just in the top of the 3rd inning, Milligan, they've received hits from 6 out of 9 members of their lineup. That pitch outside and off the plate for ball number 3. Count is 3-0. This one foul tipped by Baird. Over to the left field foul pole. That pitch is low for ball number 4. Bases are now loaded for the Milligan Buffaloes. Chance to do more damage with Gavin Jones coming back up to the plate. We're going to have another mound visit, this time featuring Coach. Morris's day likely done.
I'm trying to keep it simple as possible. You know what I do? Even Gucci on sight, rollers on ice, get first class flights, riding like a bike, get a brand new bag, be quiet, don't brag, ain't no pump gas, you can keep it on task, filling up facts, keep it on track, buzzing in flight, all night, gotta make count, never went bounce, girl that's tight, whatever you like, Gucci on sight, roll your ice, take my advice, live a better life. You got made right now, you got it made right now. I won't let you down, I won't let you down. It's not for right now, it's not for right now. It's not for right now, it's not for you right now. You can't be too strict, you don't know right now. Everything too big, everybody know right now. I enjoy it outside, we've been on the low for a while. I've been solo now, I've been going solo now. 20 ounce
Eagles, number 17, Darius Dunn.
So a pitching change has been made for Reinhardt. Morris's day will be done. And now coming up to the mound for Reinhardt, number 17, Darius Dunn, the grad student, the 6'2" righty out of Cleveland, Ohio. He's going to be tasked with slowing down the Milligan lineup that has been clicking on all cylinders all day long. Again, over the course of these two doubleheader games, Milligan has outscored Reinhardt 26-4 after losing that first contest 7-0 yesterday. It has been all Buffs here in Waleska on Saturday, March 14th.
Now batting the
Bases are loaded with Gavin Jones now coming up to the plate. Gavin Jones, top 5 in the conference in batting average. Gavin Jones already has a home run in this contest. He watches that one for ball 1. This one popped up into the air. It won't have quite enough distance to be a sac fly, so that's going to be a pop out for Gavin Jones.
Now batting the catcher, number 15, Cade Kalewahi.
Cade Kalewahi coming back up to the plate. Kalewahi already a hit so far. If you're Milligan, start to look ahead to what the month of April will be like for you and your team. You're going to have a series against Montreat to start things off in April. 3 teams ahead of you in the conference standings. You'll see all 3 of them in April series: Montreat, Tennessee Wesleyan, and Johnson. Swing and miss there from Kalewahi and strike number 2. But a series win against Reinhardt would go a long way towards firmly establishing yourself near the top of that AAC pecking order. Popped up by Kalewahi. This one's going to have some distance. It's going back, and it's going to be dropped. It drops in the right field. 1 run scores for Milligan. Another run scores for Milligan. 2 runs scoring for the Buffs. It's 10-0.
Now batting the right fielder, number 18, Brody Melton.
Milligan again dominating. It's 10-0. After putting up a 5-spot in inning 2, they have 4 so far in inning 3. Brody Melton, the right fielder, at the plate. Melton also has a hit so far. He watches that one, goes for strike 1. Runners at first and second, 1 runner in scoring position, Braxton Baird. Pinch runner in the game for the Buffs. Number 3, Miller Spence, the junior from Knoxville, Tennessee. Count 1-2. Dunn throws that one low for ball number 2. Popped up into the net and foul. Milligan continuing to pour it on here in this Saturday showcase of their bats. 28-4 outscoring Reinhardt so far between the two games. In some ways, you could look at that as that like an indictment against Reinhardt, but with the way that Milligan's been playing at the plate in this one, they'd be a hard out for anyone in the country right now. Dunn deals high for ball 3. And Reinhardt, a few unforced errors, a few mistakes, has aided in this dominant showcase for the Buffs. That pitch high and inside for ball number 4. Bases once again loaded for the Buffaloes. Just one out on the board.
Now batting the center fielder, number 17, Nick Iezzi.
Easy, the senior from Greenville, Tennessee, back at the plate. That pitch outside and off it for ball 1. And checking back in with some of the games happening around the AAC. Johnson and Bryan in a rubber match. Johnson out front 7-3. Spartanburg Methodist battling against Truett McConnell. Spartanburg Methodist currently winning 6-2. Montreat, who's right now third in the Appalachian, losing to Georgia Gwinnett 3-1. Easy hits one right towards that Milligan dugout. Look out, folks. Guys having to get out of the way of that one. Tennessee Wesleyan all over U-Pike 8-2. Bluefield had a series against Miami Hamilton. They won their matchup today by a score of 4-2. Union Commonwealth playing CIU. Union Commonwealth out front 4-3 in the top of the 7th. Easy hits one. A chance for a double play. 5-4-3. And that is going to retire the side. 5-4-3 double play. Eagles are going to have a chance to put something on the board. Milligan dominant 10-0.
Leading off for the Eagles, the right fielder, number 8, Brock Sisson.
Eagles trailing 10-0, entering the bottom of the 3rd inning. Brock Sisson at the plate for Reinhardt. Reinhardt one hit between those first two, hoping to get something going. The Milligan Buffalo Bats have been active so far in this game. 8 hits, 10 runs scored, 28 runs scored between the two games of this series. It just has not been Reinhardt's day so far. Eagles, they still have some time to change the narrative. Home team need to try to get that home crowd involved. Right now, it has been a quiet one here at Ken White Field. Count is 2-1. Jaron deals. This one popped up by Sisson. It's going high, and it's going to go right over the net. The crowd trying to duck out of the way. Count knotted up at 2 apiece. If you're Reinhardt, you can't approach it as if you're going to score a 10-run inning. As much as you would like to, you have to try to get a few runs here, a few runs there. Steadily creep your way back into the ball game. Give yourself a chance going down the stretch. Right now, trailing by 10 runs. 10 can become 7, then can become 5. But you just got to get something on the board here if you're the Eagles. 3 runs to 2, 3 balls, 2 strikes. 10 runs to nothing, Milligan out in front. Strike number 3. Jaron's strong day continues. That's out number 1 here in the bottom of the 3rd inning. Canyon Jaron up to 3 Ks so far in this one, and he's made quick work throughout this Reinhardt lineup so far. Just 42 hits on the board. So him able to do the work that he's done with just 42 pitches in the bank. Now facing Reinhardt's 9-hole hitter, the shortstop Miguel Salazar. Salazar thought about swinging at that one, thinks better of it. Ball number 1. Again, just a struggle for Reinhardt offensively in this one. Cade Shamlee, the only one with a hit so far. Swing and a miss from Salazar in strike number 2. Not a whole lot of shame there. Jaron has been this stellar all year long. Again, coming into this game with a 106 earned run average. He has continued to just ring it up here in Waleska. You go down the line, you start thinking about pitcher of the year, first team all conference. Jaron, guy who stuck it out and has been around in Milligan now in his 4th season, figures to be right in the mix of that group. Question now for the Eagles, who's going to be the one to build that momentum? Who's going to be the one to start the fire and get things going? It's always one play that can make the difference. Well, who's going to be the person that flips the narrative and changes the script? Counts 2-2. A grounder. Jones throws in time. Out number 2.
Now batting the designated hitter, number 15, Juan Pablo Morales.
So back to the top of the batting order, Juan Pablo Morales. His second plate appearance of the day. He was hit by a pitch in his first. So Juan Pablo Morales is going to take his hacks batting lefty. He's a switch hitter for this Reinhardt lineup. Swings and misses there for strike number 1. This one popped up in the left field. Going back, and it's going to be retrieved for out number 3. 3 up, 3 down. That retires the side. Reinhardt still reeling, Milligan rolling 10-0.
Leading off for the Buffaloes, the designated hitter, number 7, Landon Lutterman.
Set to resume play in the top of the 4th inning. Landon Lutterman, the designated hitter, back up to the plate for Milligan. Lutterman 0 for 1 and swings and misses there for strike 1. Darius Dunn remains on the mound for Reinhardt. Dunn got Reinhardt out of that last inning, so he gets to remain on the mound for the Eagles here in the 4th. Currently ahead on the count 0-2. Deals, bit inside, ball 1. Lutterman, one of just 3 guys for Milligan who've yet to record a hit in this one. Lutterman hits one over near the Milligan dugout. Can't script it any better if you're a fan of the Buffs. Meanwhile, definitely not what you would want to see if you are cheering for the Eagles, the way that Milligan has dominated here in Ken White Field. Another pitch inside of Lutterman for ball 2. Especially for a Reinhardt program that's grown accustomed to dominating this series. Lutterman lifts one. Will it drop? No, it will not. Just on the wrong side of that right field line. Again, there are no 10-run innings, but you got to give yourself a chance. How do you give yourself a chance? Well, you slow down this Milligan lineup. Coming out of this inning without any runs scored would potentially give you some type of momentum that you can carry on as this game continues. Right now, a full count with 3 balls and 2 strikes. The payoff. Outside, off the plate, ball 4. Landon Lutterman making his way over to first.
Now batting the second baseman, number 10, Devin Gutierrez.
So Lutterman at 1, Devin Gutierrez coming up to the plate. Gutierrez also looking for his first hit of the ball game. The second baseman's 0 for 1. And he's going to get his first hit. Gutierrez gets on board by way of that single. So Gutierrez is at first. Landon Lutterman now in scoring position at second.
Now batting the first baseman, number 34, Josh Lale.
That pitch inside, ball number 1. Josh Lale, the first baseman at the plate. He recorded his 8th hit of the year a few innings ago. Lale pops one up deep out to right field. It's going to make its way towards the light pole. Lale will re-enter the batter's box. Josh Lale, again, his 8th hit of the season, coming in that second inning. A strike. Lale hits one, goes into the net and foul. Count 1-2. That pitch is low. Lale. Lale hits one in the right center field. It's going to be corralled. Lutterman remains at second.
Now batting the left fielder, number 40.
Josh Lale flies out. Brock Sisson coming underneath that one. One out on the board. Still 2 men on for Milligan with the outfielder Cole Hartley back at the plate. Hartley 2 for 2 so far today. Oh-2 count. Devin Dunn trying to keep this Milligan lineup at bay for the first time today. That one hit into the net. That one gets away from the backstop. Stevens. Runners will advance. 2 runners now in scoring position for Milligan. Gutierrez at second. Landon Lutterman at third. Thinking maybe just some hard contact to advance one of them home. But if you're Cole Hartley, you've been feeling it. You got to give yourself a chance. Counts 1 and 2. Hartley staying alive. Milligan getting off years of frustration here in this series. Again, they have not defeated Reinhardt in a series since 2021. Hartley swings and misses for strike 3. But they have not defeated Reinhardt in a series since 2021. The Eagles ended their season last year. Reinhardt ended their stay in Kingsport, Tennessee, also in 2024. A lot of guys in this Milligan group were a part of those teams, so they remember very vividly what Reinhardt has been able to do to them over the course of these past few years. So you know that they're going to enjoy this one. Cannon Dorsey corrals that one for out number 3, and that retires the side. Scoreless inning there from Milligan. Reinhardt still trying to get on the board.
Leading off for the Eagles, the left fielder, number 32, Cannon Dorsey.
Resuming play in the bottom of the fourth inning. Dorsey at the plate for Reinhardt. Dorsey 0 for 1 so far today. Just the second time through the order for Reinhardt. Another stellar showing for Canyon Jarrett. That pitch high for ball one. Popped up, going back, over the wall, bouncing off of the wall, rather. A double for Cannon Dorsey. So Dorsey getting himself going, a nice celebration towards his dugout. Maybe that's what Reinhardt needs to build some momentum, just their second hit of the ball game. So Dorsey gets himself into scoring position. Jackson Rains now coming back up to the plate. Reinhardt still looking to get on the board. That pitch a strike. Canyon Garrett, 1.06 ERA entering this game. Checking back in with some of the outstanding scores from the Appalachian Athletic Conference. Swing and miss from Jackson Rains. Johnson ahead against Bryan 7-5 in the top of the third inning. Tennessee Wesleyan dominant right now against U-Pike 11-2. That game in the top of the sixth inning. Swing and miss from Jackson Rains from strike three. First out here in the fourth for Reinhardt.
Number 6, Louis Dion.
Louis Dion making his way back up to the plate, looking for his first hit of the ball game. Spartanburg Methodist out front 10-2 over Truett McConnell. Montreat Road showdown against Georgia Gwinnett right now. Georgia Gwinnett beating Montreat 4-3. That game seems like it's going to go down to the wire. Dion, a grounder that Josh Lale retrieves, but just over the line and foul. Count is 0-1. Again, a runner in scoring position by way of Cannon Dorsey's double. Swing and a miss from Dion and strike two. Another swing, another miss from Dion. Strike number three. Jaron's strong outing continues.
Third baseman, number 11, Cade Shamley.
Sham Lee coming up to the plate. Sham Lee already has a hit so far today, one of just two for Reinhardt. 2 outs on the board. Eagles running out of time to make something happen here against the dominant Buffs. Swing and miss from Sham Lee. That pitch, a strike, counted up at 2 apiece. Sham Lee watches that one, and it goes for strike number 3. Jaron retires the side. We move to the 5th inning. All Buffs.
Who's ready for the retire? Who's ready for the retire? Ready for the rumble?
This is the most of them. This is the one that you see the shadow in the back of the room. He's the one directing traffic. He is the one that we're all afraid of. He's the one that's King Slime.
Now pitching for your Eagles, number 23, Ryan Mahoney.
So it will be a new man on the mound for Reinhardt. Dunn's day is done, no pun intended. Number 23, Ryan Mahoney, now on the mound for the Eagles. Ryan Mahoney, he's a veteran now for the Eagles. A 6'1" junior out of Loganville, Georgia, formerly of Grayson High School. Enters into the game here in the 5th inning, trying to slow down this Milligan Buff lineup. Mahoney, a guy who throws a lot of things off speed. So we'll see if that can sort of break the rhythm that the Buffs have built at the plate. And what a way for him to find out as he goes against Gavin Jones. Jones 1 for 2. That one was a homer that came in the 2nd inning. That 2nd inning really broke this one wide open for Milligan. Eagles again running out of time, but not out of time just yet. But you got to keep Milligan at bay in this inning to give yourself a chance. Swing and a miss from Gavin Jones, strike 2. That pitch from Mahoney a bit inside. Ball 3. Full count here. 3 balls, 2 strikes. This one a chopper. Sham Lee, the throw, made in time. Nice throw from Sham Lee to Holthouse for out number 1.
Now batting
Cade Kelawahe back at the plate.
Wabehi.
Two for 3 so far today. So Reinhardt this series against a team in Milligan that's receiving votes in the top 25. Reinhardt will see a team within that top 25 later on coming up this week. Have a one-off on the road at Cumberland's. Cumberland's 6th in the country before having a 3-game stretch against Ottawa out of Kansas. Ottawa 20th in the NAIA top 25. So Reinhardt, definitely a group that's battle-tested. They've already played a few teams who've made their presence in the top 25, and they're going to continue going up against some of the best in the country. Popped up into the air in the shallow right field. That play is going to be made by the right fielder, Brock Sisson. Now 2 outs, 2 men gone. Brody Melton, the outfielder, at the plate for Milligan.
Now batting the right fielder, number 18, Brody Melton.
Pitch inside, ball 1. Count 3-0. That pitch inside for ball number 4. Brody Melton will make his way over to 1.
Now batting the center fielder, number 17, Nick Iezzi.
Count now 1-2. Another strike from Mahoney that would retire the side. Nick Iezzi 1 for 3 so far today. Lifts one into center field. It will drop. Brody Melton now at 2. Iezzi at first. His second hit of the ball game. That will extend this inning for the Buffs. They're up to 10 hits.
Now batting the
Landon Lutterman back at the plate. Lutterman, the designated hitter. 0 for 1 so far on the game. One of only 2 Buffalo players who have yet to record a hit in this one. Trying to put a stop to that here in this AB. And he does. Lutterman with a base hit. And another run scores for Milligan. 11-0. Milligan out in front.
Now batting the second baseman, number 10, Devin Gutierrez.
Gutierrez, 1 for 2. This one popped up into the air. It's going to go on the wrong side of the net and foul. One-two count. One runner in scoring position for Milligan. Pitch goes low. Ball 2. This one well hit the left field. It's going to drop. Another chance for Milligan to score, and they will do just that. RBI double. 12-0. Milligan well out in front. Josh Lale, the first baseman, coming back up to the plate for the Buffaloes.
Now batting the first baseman, number 34, Josh Lale.
This is popped straight up into the air. Count 0-2. Mahoney, low in the dirt, ball one. Popped up in the right field. Sisson underneath it. He corrals it for out number 3. That's going to retire the side. Reinhardt down 12-0.
Leading off for the Eagles, the catcher, number 7, Ryan Stevens.
Set to resume play in the bottom of the 5th inning. Ryan Stevens coming up to the plate, the backstop. Stevens 0 for 1. Eagles down to their last 9 outs. Jaron remains on the mound for Milligan. Swing and miss from Stevens. So down goes Ryan Stevens, first out here in the bottom of the 5th.
Now batting the first baseman, number 28, Sam Holthouse.
Sam Holthouse, the first baseman, back at the plate. Checking back in around the AAC. Montreat and Georgia Gwinnett right now in a battle. Georgia Gwinnett, number 2 in the country, going against Montreat. Montreat, the third-ranked team in the AAC as of now. Scores 5-4 in that one. Spartanburg Methodist and Truett McConnell 11-8 in the top of the 6th inning. Johnson ahead of Bryant 10-7. They're in a rubber match in their series as well. Tennessee Wesleyan up 11-3 over U-Pike. Right now here in our contest, live on SCSN, it has been all Milligan. 12-0 Buffaloes. After Reinhardt came away with that 7-0 win yesterday, it has been all Milligan in this Saturday doubleheader, 30-4 between the two games. That pitch, a strike. A full count here. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Jaron already with 7 strikeouts in this game. Make that 8 strikeouts. Down goes Holthouse, out number 2.
Now batting pinch hitter number 13, Ethan Moore.
So for the first time at the plate today, we're going to see Ethan Moore, the Sewanee, Georgia native, formerly of Collins Hill High School. Collins Hill, a Gwinnett County powerhouse. Ethan Moore is going to be tasked with making something happen, trying to spark some momentum for Reinhardt. Usually enters the game as a pinch runner. Swings and misses there. Strike 2. Moore watches that when it goes inside. Ball number 1. Swing and miss from Ethan Moore. 9 Ks for Guerin. Strike number 3, out number 3. Retires the side, and after 5, Milligan remains dominant.
This side. Playing around outside, yeah. Put the love in me. It's a family, not a gang. And not a gang. Figure trying to throw down my name. Drinking my cup, no Coco bang. Yeah, my be the name, ain't it not gon' bang. I met me some millions, they think I'm a change. This thing in, he chain, ain't packs disappear like David. He be all on my danger line. I just bought a new blue tank line. My heart cold is icebox. Number 1 rule, get that money, man. I got it from Doc. It ain't no shame within my game. I'm trying to get it out. This street is just not the same. I'm studying salt. I just stay out the way and collect my bread. If you get in my way, you get one in the head. Go out full of blues, sipping on red. Like worm, I'm about my money. I smoke.
Now pitching for your Eagles, number 33, Gray St. Amon.
All this ice on me, I need to sleep. All this ice on me, I need to sleep. Think my heart train, yeah, them come. Get that money and stack it, yeah. Nobody like being broke. This shit, they Everybody wanna be rich. You gotta go.
Set to resume play here in the sixth inning. Gray St. Amant now on the mound for the Reinhardt Eagles. At the plate for Milligan, number 3, Miller Spence. Spence tips this one off and foul. This will be Spence's 12th plate appearance of the year. That pitch from St. Amant high, ball 2. That pitch called for ball 3. Popped up in the left field. Out number 1.
Now batting the shortstop, number 11, Braxton Baird.
Braxton Baird, the shortstop, who was very loud in the first game of this doubleheader. He's been quiet in this one, 0 for 3 so far. Two 2-1 count. The pitch. Tipped off and foul. That pitch outside off the plate. Full count coming up. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Popped up into the air and foul. Swing and a miss. Strike number 3. First K of the game for St. Amant. 2 outs on the board with Gavin Jones now coming up to the plate.
Now batting the third baseman, number 2, Gavin Jones.
Count 0-2. That one fouled off by Jones. Swing and a miss for strike number 3. That retires the side. 12-0. Buffs.
Do you dream alone under the moon? Is it brighter, brighter when with you? Is it after all you're strong enough to light this fire, back in us?
Now pitching for the Buffaloes, number 36, Tucker Webb.
So a new pitcher on the mound for Milligan. Canyon Guerin's day is done after 5 innings. Now on the mound for the Buffs, number 36, Tucker Webb. So the ball will be passed to Webb after a stellar showing for Guerin. Webb from Charlotte Courthouse, Virginia. Webb, the junior righty.
The shortstop, number 24, Miguel Salazar.
Tucker Webb's going to get his first opportunity against this Reinhardt unit. Miguel Salazar back at the plate. This is Webb's 6th appearance of the season. Currently sporting a 1.59 ERA. Reinhardt, they just have struggled so mightily at the plate in this one. Only 2 hits thus far. And after blanking Milligan in game 1 of this series, they have gotten a taste of their own medicine on Saturday. 3 pitches, 3 balls from Tucker Webb. That pitch high for ball number 4. Salazar takes the free pass over at 1.
Designated hitter number 15, Juan Pablo Morales.
Coming up to the plate now is Juan Pablo Morales. Morales 0 for 1 so far today, the designated hitter. Tucker Webb's been one of the better relief pitchers in the AAC so far this year. Webb trying to find the spot, still rounding into form right now. Counts 2-1. Salazar over at first. Pitch high and off the plate for ball number 3. Full count here, 3 balls, 2 strikes. So Morales gets that free pass to first. Salazar's now at second. He's in scoring position. Cannon Dorsey coming up to the plate. Still no outs on the board. So Dorsey coming up to the plate for Reinhardt. Dorsey's 1 for 2 on the day. 2 men on for the Eagles. Juan Pablo Morales at first. Miguel Salazar at second and in the scoring position. This arguably the best chance Reinhardt has had. Try to get themselves on the board, and runners are going to be able to advance. So Juan Pablo Morales is now in scoring position at second. Salazar threatening from third. This is a golden opportunity for Reinhardt to get themselves on the board. That pitch high, ball 2. This popped straight up into the air. It's going to go over the net and foul. Count 2-1. Three consecutive walks by Tucker Webb. Bases loaded for the Reinhardt Eagles.
Fielder number 16, Jackson Rains.
Jackson Rains now coming up to the plate, and we're going to have a mound conference. We'll see if Tucker Webb gets a chance to stay out there. Bases loaded for the Eagles and a chance to eat at this deficit.
I hear the drums echoing tonight. She hears only whispers of some quiet conversation. She's coming in for a very fight. Moonlit wings reflect the stars that guide you towards salvation. I stopped an old man along the way, hoping to find some old forgotten words or ancient melodies. He turned to me as if to say, hurry boy, it's waiting there for you. Gonna take the life to take me away from you. There's nothing left between me no more to ever do. I guess the rain's down in Africa. Gonna take some time to do the things we never did.
Now pitching for the Buffaloes, number 31, Justin Schnell.
The wild dogs cry out in the night, and it's still the restless longing for some solitary company. I know that I must do what's right, sure as Kilimanjaro rises like Olympus above the Serengeti. I seek to cure what's deep inside, frightened of this thing that I've become.
New pitcher on the mound for Milligan, number 31, Justin Schnell. First real sign of danger that the Buffs have seen. Bases loaded for the Reinhardt Eagles with Jackson Rains coming up to the plate. So Justin Schnell, the junior righty out of Milton, Wisconsin, will be tasked with slowing down Reinhardt, limiting the bleeding. Eagles, again, a golden opportunity to put something on the board right now, being blanked in this one. So awaiting some confirmation on the situation. And we'll return once we get set to resume play. Set to resume play. Jackson Rains at the plate. Bases are loaded for Reinhardt. Rains ripping one in the left field. One run is going to score for the Eagles. They get themselves on the board by way of that RBI single from Jackson Rains.
Now batting the second baseman, number 6, Luis Dion.
So Jackson Rains getting himself going, getting the Eagles going, kicking off the scoring. Luis Dion back at the plate. Luis Dion trying to get himself going, 0 for 2 on the day. At just the third hit of the game for Reinhardt, but still some time to make something happen here in the bottom of the 6th inning. Eagles have 6 outs to work with. And I've said it before, you don't want to try to put so much pressure on yourself and think about getting it in one fell swoop. You think of it more as gradual. You get a run here, get a run there, and eventually you'll see yourself a lot closer than where you were. Jackson Rains single. Nice job of getting things started for Reinhardt. And we'll see if Dion can keep that forward momentum rolling for the Eagles. Count is 1-1. Swing and miss from Dion and strike 2. That one popped up into the air. Will likely net another run for the Eagles. That's going to be a sac fly. 1 run will score for Reinhardt as Juan Pablo Morales makes his way across home plate.
Now batting the third baseman, number 11, Cade Shamley.
So Luis Dion netting the RBI. 1 man gone with Cade Shamley now at the plate. 2 men on base for Reinhardt. Man on first and a man on second. Cade Shamley coming up to the plate now. Shamley 1 for 2 on the day. That pitch a bit high, going for ball number 1. Shamley thought about going, thinks better of it. Ball number 2. Swing and a miss from Shamley, strike 2. That pitch outside the zone, ball 3. Full count here. 3 balls, 2 strikes. The ball will load the bases once more for Reinhardt. Eagles, after going scoreless in the first 5, they've scored 2 here in the 6th. That pitch outside and off the plate for ball number 4. Bases loaded once more for Reinhardt.
Number 7, Ryan Stevens.
Ryan Stevens, the catcher, coming up to the plate. Stevens 0 for 2 so far. Milligan trying to put the finishing touches on what would be their first series victory over Reinhardt since 2021. Reinhardt, they want to give themselves a chance for as long as they can. With the bases loaded, they still have time remaining to make something happen. Eagles, they have 5 outs to work with. But if they are going to make a comeback, things will need to start to happen here in this inning. You don't want to put a bunch of pressure on yourself going into that final inning, feeling like you need to have a double-digit run inning to give yourself a shot. Bases loaded. Ryan Stevens wanting to make do with this situation. Count is 0-1. Stevens, a grounder. A run is going to score for Reinhardt, but Stevens is out at first. So Dorsey scores. It's now 12-3, but it's now 2 outs on the board. Sam Holthouse coming up to the plate for Reinhardt. Eagles down to their last 4. Two runners in scoring position at second and third. 2-out rally would be major here for Reinhardt. And that pitch hitting Holthouse, grimacing in pain a little bit, not really a great sight. Hoping that he's going to be all right. Holthouse is going to shake that one off and make his way to first. Base is now loaded for the Reinhardt Eagles.
Now batting, the center fielder, number 13, Ethan Moore.
Ethan Moore, the center fielder, coming up to the plate. Ethan Moore at the plate. Jaden Malucci's going to replace Sam Holthouse. Hopefully Holthouse is okay. He makes his way to the dugout. Bases loaded for Reinhardt. 2 outs on the board. That pitch outside and off the plate. What a play by Cade Keluahe to be able to secure that one. And that one hits Ethan Moore.
Now batting, the shortstop,
So control becoming an issue for Justin Schnell. He's now hit 2 batters with pitches on back-to-back ABs. Eagles now with 4 runs on the board. And we're going to have another mound conference and likely another pitching change on the horizon. That pitch escaping the grasp of the backstop in between bases. Are they going to call him safe? What's going to be the call here? Jada Malucci took the brunt of that contact. A run scored for Reinhardt. Believe we're going to call the runner safe at second. So Malucci at second, another run scoring for the Eagles. So Reinhardt in the midst of a 2-out rally. They've gotten some assistance from a few of the pitchers, the relief pitchers for Milligan. Justin Schnell remaining on the mound. Schnell hit 2 batters with pitches. That one escaping the grasp of his backstop, opening the door for Reinhardt to score another run. So relief pitching has left a bit to be desired for the Buffs so far. And it has opened the door for Reinhardt to get themselves back into this game. It's 12-5. And this is what Reinhardt needed to do. They limited the damage from Milligan, holding them scoreless in the top of this inning. Now with 5 runs, you figure that a 7-run deficit is a lot more manageable. Pop straight into the air. It's going to go just on the wrong side of the net. Full count here. 3 balls, 2 strikes. A ball will load the bases. A strike will end the inning and retire the side. Miguel Salazar 0 for 1 in this one. After a stellar outing from Canyon Jaron, it has not been smooth sailing from the bullpen for Milligan. But they have a chance to retire the side here. Swing and a miss from Salazar, and strike 3. That retires the side and ends the inning.
Free, hop on the stage and I'm ready for war. I'm not the same person I was before. I see revival breaking on the floor. I pray it makes its way out of the door. In Jesus' name we break it out of Hades. I might be doing.
Now pitching for your Eagles, number 18, Austin Pewitt.
New pitcher on the mound for Reinhardt, number 18, Austin Pewitt. Pewitt's going to get the ball here in the top of the 7th inning. Reinhardt, they need to try to keep Milligan at bay here in the top of this inning to give themselves a chance going into the bottom. This a 7-inning game. It's the second of our doubleheader. You're just now joining us. Reinhardt dominated Milligan in game 1 of this series yesterday by a score of 7 runs to none. Milligan returned the favor in game 2 of the series, game 1 of our Saturday doubleheader. The Bats were active early and often in that one. They dominated 18-4. In this one, it seemed like much of the same. Milligan, 12 unanswered runs through the first 5 innings. Reinhardt putting up a 5 spot with some assistance from Milligan. They walked 3 separate batters, 2 other batters getting hit by pitches. Nonetheless, the Eagles able to comb together 5 runs, and they enter the bottom of the 7th, make that the top of the 7th. The last inning of this ball game, trailing by just 7 runs. A strike. Austin Pewitt, the senior from Palmdale, California. Palmdale, California, of course, made famous by NBA basketball player Paul George, Palmdale native. That pitch outside and off the plate. Kealowahe lifts one that drops into left field. And a single for Milligan. Milligan, their bats were on fire through 5. Quiet in the 6th. They're trying to heat back up here in the 7th. Again, looking to put the finishing touches on not just win number 21, but their first series victory over the Reinhardt Eagles since 2021. Brody Melton 1 for 1 so far today. Pitch from Pewitt, a strike. Counts 1 and 2. Pewitt outside and off the plate. So the pinch runner, Bryce Berkey, making his way to scoring position at second. Berkey pinch running for Cade Kealowahe. Berkey, the senior from Knoxville, Tennessee. Count knotted up at 2 apiece. Another pitch off the plate from Pewitt. 3 balls, 2 strikes. The 3-2. Swing and a miss for strike number 3. First K of the day for Pewitt. So Pewitt's going to sit. Coming up to the plate, Nick Iezzi.
17, Nick Iezzi.
Iezzi 2 for 4 so far on the day. This one popped up and fouled off. Oh, 1 count. Again, Reinhardt's next game, a road tilt at Cumberland's. 6th ranked team in the country. They'll follow that up with another weekend series against a ranked opponent. Ottawa out of Kansas. Those games next Friday and Saturday. Ottawa 20th in the country. So two teams who are right in the mix to make appearances in the NAIA postseason, much like this Milligan Buffaloes team feels like they're in line to do so as well. With a lot of youth, a lot of new faces, Eagles hoping that going through these moments can position them as the year goes on to be very battle-tested down the stretch of the year, and they're hoping rounding into top form going into the AAC tournament. That pitch outside, off the plate, ball number 3. Another full count, 3 balls and 2 strikes. And it may look one way right now, but folks, it is a long season. There is talent on this team. Guys still trying to find their way. It's not just the talent that Reinhardt lost from last year. A lot of guys who were leaders on last year's team. A guy like Brett Allen would spend his entire career at Reinhardt. A guy like Nash Kroll, who was a multiple-time all-conference selection. Anytime you lose guys like that, there's going to be a bit of an adjustment. And that's what these first few months have represented for Reinhardt. Again, they're hoping that playing teams like Milligan, like Cumberland's and Ottawa that they'll see next week will prepare them for what's to come down the stretch. This one lifted up into the air by Iezi. And it's going to be caught for out number 2. The left fielder, Cannon Dorsey, making the play.
Now batting the designated hitter, number 7, Landon Lutterman.
Landon Lutterman, the DH, now coming up to the plate. Ground ball, Sham Lee corrals it. The throw is made in time across the diamond for out number 3. Moving to the bottom of the 7th inning, Reinhardt has some work to do, but there is still a chance. 3 outs to work with, trailing by 7.
Now pitching for the Buffaloes, number 22, Cole Wessel. Leading off for the Eagles, the designated hitter, number 15, Juan Pablo Morales.
Eagles down to their last 3 outs. Pitching change has been made for Milligan. Cole Wessel now on the mound, and he'll face Juan Pablo Morales back to the top of the batting order. Cole Wessel being tasked with finishing this one for Milligan. Wessel, the freshman from Knoxville, Tennessee. Morales 0 for 1. Pops this one up and it goes foul. Now behind on the count, 0-2. Milligan trying to make a bit of history here. Counts 0-2. Grounder by Morales goes to the Reinhardt dugout on the wrong side of the line. Morales pops it up in the left center field, going back, and it will be caught by the left fielder, Miller Spence.
The left fielder, number 32, Cannon Dorsey.
Eagles down to their last 2 outs. Cannon Dorsey does have a hit in this one. Dorsey 1 for 2. Cannon Dorsey. Dorsey up now and Jackson Raines up next. One of 3 guys in that Eagle lineup to record hits so far. So Dorsey and Raines, 2 of the guys that you would want in this situation as Reinhardt tries to get themselves back into it. They need 7 runs here in this inning, down to their final 2 outs. Dorsey popping one up into center field. It drops. Cannon Dorsey, his 2nd hit of the ball game.
Now batting, the
Dorsey
right
keeping the
fielder,
Eagles
number
alive.
16, Jackson Raines.
Jackson Raines back at the plate. Raines has a homer today. That came in game 1 of our doubleheader. He also has a hit in this contest, 1 for 3. Lifted up by Raines in the right field. It drops near the foul pole. Dorsey rounding third, thought about heading home. Instead, he will stay put at third. 2 runners in scoring position. A double for Jackson Raines.
Luis Dion.
All of a sudden, the Eagles might have some life in them. 2 outs to work with. Luis Dion coming up to the plate. Dion 0 for 2 so far. With the season that he's had this year, you got to feel like he's due to make something happen at the plate. Dion has a home run that came in game 1 of this series. That pitch a strike. Wessel, his first season with the Buffs. This is his 6th appearance of the year. That one right down the middle. Strike 2. Again, you got to feel like Dion is due. 1 for 2. Wessel, dealing, swing, and a miss by Louis Dion in strike number 3.
Now batting the third baseman, number 11, Cade Shamley.
So it's going to come down to Cade Shamley to keep Reinhardt alive. 2 runners on, 2 men in scoring position. Can Shamley keep the Eagles in it? Down to their final out. Strike 1. Wessel trying to help Milligan make history. Shamley trying to give the Eagles one more breath of life. Pitch outside, off the plate, ball 1. Milligan's been dominant all game long. Shamley pops one up and it goes foul. Count 1 and 2. Reinhardt down to their final strike. You can tell Milligan, they can taste it. They are this close to doing something they have not done in a long time. Swing and a miss by Cade Shamley. Out number 3, and listen to that ovation from the Milligan faithful. For the first time since 2021, the Milligan Buffs defeat the Reinhardt Eagles in a series. Milligan wins this one 12-5. Reinhardt falls to 10-16 on the year. Thank you all for joining us at this presentation of NAIA Baseball and SCSN. My name is Lorenzo Robinson. Thank you for joining us, and we will see you all next time.